Hey guys, I want to jump on tonight and talk about something very specific because that 10-year challenge has been going around, and I actually posted a transformation of myself, what had happened in 10 years, and it was so cool because it got picked up by shape.com and I started seeing it in all sorts of places, and we got a flood of messages today. So I wanted to jump on and actually talk about that, about my specific transformation and what that has to do with where I am today and how this can help support you. So hi guys, first of all, if you're new to my page and you don't know me, I'm Natalie Jill. I'm a licensed master sports nutritionist and I'm a functional fitness trainer, and I kill fat for a living. And I say that with a capital F-A-T because it's not just the fat on our bodies, it's those false assumed truths. That's the F-A-T. It's the false assumed truths that stay in our way and block us from achieving results, that block us from achieving results and things that we are truly after with our goals in our life. So that's what I do. So welcome. And if you know me or you're new, regardless, let me know who you are. I'd love to know your name, especially because I'm on Instagram and Facebook right now and I can't see names on Instagram. So let me know who you are, where you're from, and I'd love to know your age as well because I'm 47 and I love to know who I'm talking to, especially when it's women in their 40s and 50s, so I know I'm reaching people close to my age. So let me know that and where you're chiming in from, and hello. So I'm going to talk about something very specific tonight, and I'm actually going to give you some takeaways that you can start applying to your own life to start up leveling and leveling up what it is that you want for yourself. And so you can start aging in reverse and creating a better life for yourself and reaching bigger, better goals. Does that sound good? So awesome. Okay, so let me start with this. This is the picture I posted. Did you guys see that 10-year transformation going around, or it was like the 10-year challenge? So I posted this picture, which was me a little over 10 years ago. So this was me right here. So I just had my daughter. This is the picture I posted. And I just had my daughter. That was her right there. She's 11 now, so it's been quite some time. But what I wanted to show in this is, yes, I just had a baby, so I was overweight there. But what you don't know is that I am 5'2", and at that time I had gained about 60 pounds from where I am now. So I had gained a lot of weight from where I am now. And it wasn't just because of hormones or being pregnant. It was from literally eating McDonald's. I was not in a good place in my life. I was happy I was going to be a new mom, but I was in a marriage that was dissolving. I was in a financial hardship. It was when the stock market had crashed, the housing market had crashed. This is back in 2007, if you remember what was happening then, 2007 to 2009. All kinds of things were going wrong. And I was in my own personal rock bottom place. And the way I comforted myself was eating. And it was eating McDonald's and doing a lot of stuff that I shouldn't be doing. And what was crazy is my whole life I had been in this great place where I felt okay financially. I felt okay with my confidence. I felt okay. My life felt like it was working until it wasn't. And that's when I found myself here. So here I am. I was a new mom, again, almost 11 years ago now. I gained a lot of weight. Stock market had changed. The housing market had changed. And I found myself not only a new single mom, but I was now overweight, depressed, and about to be alone. And I remember feeling super stuck. Like, what the heck am I going to do now? Maybe this is what's supposed to happen. Maybe you have a baby and you just gain a lot of weight and this is just what happens. And I remember just being in my own head with my life that I thought was falling apart. I just felt super miserable about myself. I didn't know where my confidence was. I didn't know how I was going to get my life back. I didn't even know what I wanted. In fact, people used to say, like, what's your vision? What do you want? And I had no idea how to answer that because I just wanted to be happy. Can any of you relate to that? I just wanted to be happy. I was like, I just want to be happy. This didn't feel like me anymore. So I'm going to share exactly what I did to shift. And now, again, this was over 10 years ago, okay? Over 10 years ago. But let me just show you where it goes. So I'm 47 now. This was me last year. So at 46 in this picture. So I went from here to here and so much more in my life too. And not only did I go from here to here, but I also helped countless people in the process, like Nicole right here, do the same thing. I helped countless people do this. And I'm going to show you exactly what I did so you can start shifting and making those changes and do this for yourself. So you ready to get started? Want to know what I did? It's an actual process. This is another one. This is Terry right here. She went through the same process. So I'm going to show you exactly what I did. All right, you ready? So you might want to write these down, or this will live on my page. I'll leave this up if you're on Facebook. On Instagram, it will stay up for about the 24 hours. But you can write these down, or you can go back and replay it, and you can save it, whatever you want to do, so you have these tips. So I'm going to give you the actual process right now. Okay, number one, ready? Number one is I literally just made a decision. Write that word down, decide. I decided. I flat out said, I'm deciding that this is happening. Now that might sound really basic, but let me tell you, it's a lot bigger of a decision to say I decide, and it's a lot bigger process, and this works. So this was step number one, I decided. Now, what does deciding mean? Deciding does not mean I'm going to try, I'm going to think about, I might, this maybe, I'm going to consider, I'm going to maybe go for it. That's not deciding. Deciding is also not, I've tried everything before, I guess I'll try this again. That's not deciding. Deciding is a definitive, this is happening, I'm getting results, I'm tired of being here. This is happening, I'm ready to get results, I'm tired of being here. Now this works not just for weight loss, fat loss, this works for changing your income, it works for changing your business, changing your relationship. Step number one is you have to decide. So this girl right here, the very first thing I had to do was not change my diet or my nutrition. It was I literally had to make a decision that I was done being this. That's not who I was going to be. I decided I wanted to be abundant with money. I decided I wanted to be happy. I decided I wanted to be fit. I wanted to be healthy. I wanted to be happy. I decided, and I made a decision, and that was step number one. I literally made a decision, okay? And that's the first thing that is in so many people's gaps is we don't actually decide. We don't actually decide. We just say, I'm thinking about, or I might, or I'll try, or I'm going to consider, or you're waiting for the world to do something to you or for you, but you don't actually decide. So I decided without a doubt, this is happening. I am going to be fit. I'm going to be abundant. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to make money. I'm going to be a leader. I decided all that. So that was step number one. Okay. You want to know what step number two was? Any guesses? Any of you on here that have been through my programs, you'll know exactly what step number two is. But step number two is, this is the scary part, but this is critical, is you get to declare it. You get to declare it. So not only have you made a decision, you now have to declare it. And that's not just to yourself, because this is what's funny. When you make a decision and you don't tell anybody about it, then have you really decided or committed to it? You haven't. So the second step is you get to make a declaration. So what is a declaration? A declaration is telling other people as if it is already there. It's happening. You're not just telling it to yourself. You can tell it to friends. You can tell it to family, to coworkers. You can go on social media and tell it. But you do have to declare it if you want to make it happen. So that was step number two. So I decided first, this is where I want to go. And then I made a declaration. And at the time, Facebook was newer. I had like my 100 Facebook friends at the time. And I declared it there. I just said, I'm tired of feeling this way. I'm going to change things up. I'm going to get super fit. And that's what I decided. That's number two. Number three was you have to have a vision of where you're going. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. So if you were to get in a car, and we all went and got in our cars right now, and I said, okay, just drive. Well, where would you end up? Where would you end up? It depends. It depends on what? It depends on where you feel like going. It depends on the weather. It depends on the road conditions. It depends on traffic. It depends on how much gas is in your car. It depends on who's with you. It would depend on what you feel like doing. It would depend on a lot of variables, right? And who knows where you would end up? We don't know. It's a gamble. It's a guess. You know what's funny? So many people do that with their goals. They have no idea where they're going. They just know they don't want to be where they are right now. And they just basically get in a car and just start. They start trying things, dabbling. And then they're surprised that they don't end up anywhere that they wanted to go because they never declared where they wanted to go. So let's take that car example, a different direction. If you get in a car and you say, I'm going to New York. We all are clear that we're going to New York. Then we would all get to New York. Now we might get there different ways, right? Some of us might drive there. Some of us might drive to an airport and fly. Some might go to a train station and take a train. Some might pull out their Waze on their phone and use that. Somebody else might pull out an old-fashioned map and use that. There'd be a million different ways you could get there, but you'd be super clear that you're getting to New York and you would get there, right? That's the thing that we don't do with vision so many times. So many times people that say they're trying everything and nothing's working for them, they never actually figured out the vision of where they want to go. So this girl here, not only did I decide and declare, I also got very clear on where I wanted to go. And I did that by making a vision board. And I know many of you have been tagging me in your vision boards lately as I've been teaching this, which is amazing. I love that. And the reason I did a vision board is I didn't know what I wanted. And by creating a vision board, by pulling out pictures, images, things that made me feel good, I started to get a clear vision of what I wanted. And at that time, I remember putting fit girls, super fit girls, on my vision board. And I also know I put ocean view, I put sunny outside, I put happy family, I put fuzzy dogs, I put anything that made me happy. But what was so cool about that is I now had a vision, I had a destination. I was very clear on where it is that I want to go. So we can't forget those first steps, right? I decided I was done and I wanted to go somewhere else. I declared it, and now I made a vision. So that was step number 3. I was very clear on my vision, and I actually told people about my vision, which goes into that declaration part. And I said, hey, I'm going to be, at the time, this is 10 years ago, I said, I'm going to be a fitness model. And people laughed at me. People were like, you're too old for that. What are you talking about? That's crazy. I had one friend tell me that I was mortifying her. I had all kinds of negativity around it. But you know what? When you are clear on your vision, when you are super clear on your vision and you decide it, you declare it, it doesn't matter what other people think because you're committed and happy and you're determined, you're getting there. It doesn't matter because you've now decided. So that was step number 3, the vision. Okay, ready for step number 4? Step number 4 is I made a commitment to stick to the plan and the process. So I didn't quite know how I was getting to my vision yet, but I made a commitment to myself that I was not gonna give up on it. It was gonna happen. It was absolutely gonna happen, and I gave myself a time frame. I gave myself at that time 4 months. I said, in 4 months, this is happening. I'm going to be making money again. I'm gonna lose the weight. I'm gonna have my confidence back. I'm gonna be a fitness model. That's what I said at the time. But I was super clear. I gave myself an approaching deadline, and I committed to working towards it. And commitment is also lacking from a lot of people. It's funny, I have these applications out right now for people applying to work with me and to be in my coaching program and attend my breakthrough retreats. And what's crazy is I have about 100 applications over here right now. And I would say so many of these applications, when I ask the question, how committed are you? They say a 10. But then their other answers don't match that. So they're not a 10. They're not a 10. So people think they're committed, but when you're really committed to something, you do whatever it takes. You make it, you don't worry about your feelings or your circumstances. You literally do whatever it'll take. And if you don't do that, then you are not committed. So commitment is lacking from so many people's results because if you're not committed, you can't get results, period. So if you think you're committed, but you've got a lot of reasons why you can't, and you're listening to your feelings, then you're not actually committed. You're not actually committed. Okay, the next one. The next one is you get to trust the process. You get to trust that you have decided, declared, you have a vision, and you're gonna commit, and that it's gonna work. Now, I remember when I made that decision here that I was gonna be fit, and I was gonna change my eating and my workouts, and I was gonna do everything to get there. I had to tell myself that I'm gonna trust that if I keep doing these things every single day, it's going to happen. So when I didn't have results day 1, or day 5, or day 10, it didn't matter because I trusted that if I keep doing the things I know to do and I keep focusing on my destination and where I'm headed, that it is absolutely gonna happen. And it does happen when you do that. Many of you know that recently, this is on my Instagram, I had declared I'm gonna learn to do the splits, just something random because I love to challenge myself with new things. And I decided 7 weeks ago I was gonna learn to do the splits. I'm not flexible at all. I'd never practiced on the splits ever in my life. I'd never committed to it. So I went back through my process. I decided, I declared it publicly here. I had a vision of what that would look like, right? I made a commitment to myself that I would practice every single day. And let me tell you what, for 7 weeks straight, I skipped 1 day of stretching and practicing, and I am almost there. And I'm sure I will be there at that 12-week mark because I took myself through this process. Okay. Ready for the next one? So those of you that are jumping on now, this will be up and you can watch the replay on this for sure. But just to recap, I'm talking about how to make a transformation in any part of your life. I'm talking about whether that's fat loss or that's increasing your income or getting into a relationship, whatever it is, anything that you want to up-level your life, when you want to achieve something new, that there is a process that you can go through, and this works every single time. And what I've shared so far is number one is decide, then you're going to declare it. You're going to have a clear vision and destination of where you're going. And then you're going to make a commitment that you're going to work on this every single day and do whatever it takes, no matter what you feel like, no matter what the circumstances are, you're going to make a commitment to do it. And then you're going to trust yourself that by doing those steps, it's absolutely going to work out and help. Okay. The next one, ready? The next one is you have to invest in yourself. And what do I mean by that? Invest in yourself means you get to put yourself first. You get to put yourself first. And if you don't put yourself first, then you can't show up as a solid person for everybody else in your life. If you're not taking care of yourself and making time to work on your goals, then you're not going to be that happy, amazing, fulfilled person that can be an awesome parent, an awesome spouse, an awesome coworker, an awesome boss, an awesome friend. So you get to put yourself first with that. And that means investing in yourself, investing money in yourself, investing time in yourself, investing work in yourself, and knowing that you're worthy of putting that as a priority. Super important there. Super important there. Okay, so now I know many of you, and feel free to ask questions, by the way. I'm going to go ahead and take a bunch of questions. Now, what always happens when I open up to questions or when I start this, people will say things like, okay, well, what's the diet that I follow? Or what's the workout that I do? And yes, I have a million workouts and diets I can give you. But here's the thing that most people miss. If you don't do this other part of the process, if you don't change your state and make these things a reality, then it doesn't matter what diet I give you. It does not matter, because you would not be committed to the process. You wouldn't be committed. And how do I know this? Because all of the transformation I've worked with, look at Nicole. This was her there. This is Nicole now. Her here was just following diets. Once she changed her mindset and applied these things, this is what she became. Same with Terry. This was Terry. Look at Terry now. She had to decide, declare, create a vision. She had to do all of these things to become that. Who else? Who else can I show you? This is Landa. Check this out. This was Landa when I met her. Same thing. She had a lot of reasons why it wasn't going to work for her. This is Landa now. Look at this. All from these steps right here. There's another one. Check this out. Amanda. Look at her now. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. I can show you a couple more. Susanna. Susanna's a grandma. Look at her now. That's what had to shift. Oh, another one. Here we go. Here's Karen. Check this out. Here's Karen. Here we go. So yes. So what did these people do? What did they do that's in common? Did they change their diet? Absolutely. Did they start moving their bodies and working out? Absolutely. But what else did they do? This is the big missing link. They took that process. They decided, they declared, they had a vision, they committed, they trusted the process, and they invested themselves. What I want to share, and I'm about to share with you how you can do this too, but all of them also worked directly with me, attending one of my breakthrough retreats and coaching with me. And that made a big difference, because what happens is you can lone wolf this. You could take what I've just told you and apply it yourself. And for many people, that's amazing. You could totally take it. But you know yourself. If you're not accountable to somebody, what happens to you? If you're not in an environment where you're really focused on yourself, what happens to you? If you don't invest in yourself and actually pay money into yourself to make something happen, what happens to you? How invested, how committed are you? I can tell you I have so much free stuff online. I have so much free stuff online. You don't need to ever give me a penny. You can find all my free stuff. But I will tell you that that rarely works for people, because if they don't invest in themselves and they don't literally invest in a process, it's amazing what they don't actually do. There's so many times I've given people like my most expensive programs because I felt bad or I wanted to help. And I don't do that anymore, because when people don't invest in themselves, they are not committed to the process. I see it over and over again. Now, every now and then there is somebody special that comes around and they can, find everything on Google, all my YouTube videos, and it's amazing. They change their bodies, they change their mindset, they change their life. But only you know if that's you or not, if you could do that, or if you are really in a place where investing yourself and creating an experience will make the difference. Okay, so why do I share that right now? Why do I share that right now? Well, I happen to have, as of right now, there's over 100 applications over there for 20 spots. I have already secured 10 of those spots. I've offered spots to 10 people, so I have officially 10 left for 2 retreats with 3 months of coaching. So if this sounds like you, if this is something you would be interested in, I highly suggest that you apply. And I'm going to write the link on Facebook right here. It's www.nataliejillapply. and you might be eligible for one of those spots. Now, when you apply, you're going to see there's a bunch of questions that we look at, and then we, based on what you write, we decide if we're going to call you or what's going to happen there. But take a look, and if you're interested, apply to that. And applying to that, might get a phone call with me, right? And we'll talk through what's going on with you and what's happening. And that is what is going to, could change your life. This could be a big decision for you. This could totally change your life. This could totally change your life. So I put that link here on Facebook, and then on Instagram, if you're on there, it's www.nataliejillapply.com. So I'm gonna go ahead and take questions. Any questions you guys have, jump in and let, hi Yaakov, do I work with men? I absolutely work with men. I absolutely work with men. Now, I have lots of programs that work with men. However, I'm gonna share that for those special retreats, those that I was just talking about, those are females specifically. I take 10 women at a time, and I'm specifically looking for women in their 40s and their 50s for that. Women in their 40s and 50s for that. And I say that because I'm 47. That's who I'm going to relate most to for these. And for those special retreats, you're literally in my house. You're with me, and I'm spending 3 months of coaching with you. So it's super important that that is, I want to keep that to women for that one. But Yaakov, I absolutely work with men, and you can send me a message, and I'm happy to hook you up with a program or whatever it needs to do. Let's see. It's hard to do. What do you suggest when you're different? Rose, I'm not sure about your question, so let me know what you mean by when you're different. Here, let's see. What other questions can I take here? Hello. Any advice on getting a flat tummy? Oh, okay, Valerie. So yeah, great question. So she's asking any advice on getting a flat tummy. So Valerie, everything that I just shared applies to that as well. But let me also share, you can't spot reduce. So when it comes to fat loss, it's not about spot reducing, because that's not how the body works. So we can lose overall fat through diet, changing our nutrition, and from taking our workouts to another level, because you want to progress and have intensity in your workouts to burn fat. However, we can't choose where we're losing the fat. You would lose overall fat. But what you can do for your stomach like that is by developing those muscles in that area, by really working to develop your core and your muscles, and then on top of it, looking to burn the fat through your diet and your workouts, you will start to see that flat stomach and that defined stomach. So yes, absolutely, that's how you would do that. Let's see, was I in Jillian Michaels' video? Short T, yes, I was, years and years and years ago. That was one of the very first things I did when I got into fitness. Hi, Angelique, I see you there. How are you? Susanna, I just showed Susanna's picture. Did you see it, Susanna? She said you changed your state. Susanna's on. This was her. Check her out. That was her. This is her now. What? So awesome. All right, guys. So listen, if you are interested in applying, take one of those spots. Make that decision. Take that spot. It's www.nataliejillapply. You can apply, and I'll see your application. Write as much detail as you want so I know exactly who you are and what you're struggling with and what's happening. And if I feel that you are a candidate for one of the breakthrough weekends in the coaching, I'm definitely going to reach out to you. And even if I don't, I'm going to suggest something else for you so I can make sure I help you out. Angela is asking, what step do most people get derailed on? Angela, all those things, to be honest with you. But I'll tell you what they don't. People think they get derailed on the workouts and the diet, but that's not what they're getting derailed on. It's not the workouts and the diet. It's literally that mindset stuff. Because when you decide and you declare and you have an actual vision of what you want and then you commit to it, the diet and the workout part is easy once you've done those other steps. So when it comes to that, they get derailed on the mindset piece. Once you're in that, the thing that most people get derailed on is the investing in themselves. People will say, I'm a 10 out of 10 committed, oh, but I don't have the money to invest in myself. Well, that doesn't match, because if you're really a 10 out of 10 commitment, you do whatever the heck it takes to make it happen, and everything else works itself out. If you're a 10 out of 10 committed, you find a way to make that work for you. If you're a 10 out of 10 committed, it doesn't. So what people get stuck on is the investing themselves, investing in themselves. Okay, let's see, a few more questions. Let's see, make sure I'm not missing anything. What's some good core exercises? What's some good core exercises? There's so many good core exercises, but my absolute favorite one for that is planks. I'm doing planks all the time because it really works your whole body, but it's such a great exercise for your stomach and your core. Let's see. Stacy, hi Stacy. Stacy saying, I would love to invest money in a retreat, but I can hardly pay bills now. I get that. I do this by having and using a gym membership, purchasing healthy food for myself, Got it. So Stacy, I totally understand that. My first suggestion for you is to change your mindset around money. The more you say, I don't have, I don't have, I don't have, I can't afford, the more you attract that. So change your languaging, whatever that looks like. I'm abundant with money. It's coming to me. I'm finding a way. It's happening. I know many of you know this. When you decide and declare something's happening, things always work out, and you'll find evidence. You'll find support. There's always a way. There's always a way when you get really clear on your vision to figure out how to do things. You can cut things out that don't matter, that don't align with your vision. There's people that will come to support you with your vision. You'll find extra work. There's always a way when you're committed to your vision. But when you get stuck in, I can't afford, I don't have, you will attract more and more of that. I will tell you 100%, when I was here, that was my conversation. I don't have, I don't have, I don't have. That was my conversation. What had to change was my mindset around that. And that's when you start to have. That's when you start to have. Okay, let's see, any more questions? All right, guys, thank you for jumping on tonight. This will be up live. I'll keep it on the Facebook page, and it'll stay on my Instagram, so you can revisit it. And if I miss any questions, make sure you jump on and add them, and I'll check threads later. And if you want to apply so I can get to know you and see your application and what you're up to in the world and what you're working on, then please apply at www.nataliejillapply.com. And I see all of those. Thanks, guys. Bye.